for you that don't understand, like a system is literally you sitting down and saying for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what are you doing? Again, if meal prepping, if I want to lose weight, I'm meal prepping. I'm working out Monday, Tuesday, I'm stretching. Like you literally have to have a plan, because one thing that a system does, the system takes your stress away. You don't have to think about it. You just wake up. A system is stress-free because you wake up every day in your system and you just create steps. It's steps. You don't have to think about it. Most people wake up with the anxiety of, what do I do? Oh, I'm supposed to promote my business. I don't know how to promote it. I don't know what to put out. Oh, I'm supposed to go here and meet with this person. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. If you have the system, it's stress-free. On Monday, I wake up, I check my emails before I do anything. On Tuesday, when I come into, I read a book and I do everything. It's stress-free. That's number one. All right, so write that down. A system is stress-free. Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. To the right of me, I got the Rocket, the highest 7 here. How you doing, Mr.
I'm all right, bro. How about you?
I'm doing awesome, fam. It's a wonderful time that we're in right now. You all, you have to know, so it's one of my favorite times of the year. I actually love summer, but man, we coming into football season, right? Football season is upon us. I love it. You can smell it when you're outside. I can hear whistles blowing right now as we're doing this podcast. Football season is here. We just I'm gonna come back to that. Before summer just ended, I want to give a thank you to every parent, every child, every person that played a hand in our Summer Leadership Academy. Man, we had a wonderful 8 years, and not 8 years, wow, 8 months, not even 8 months, 8 weeks. See, my brain is all over the place, y'all. 8 weeks. And it ended on July 25th with a wonderful gala. We had around about 300 people in the building, man. And you can go on our social medias to see some previews or reviews. What word am I looking for? Reruns, whatever, of the night. Man, it was a powerful moment. I want you to understand what took place, man. We had about 5 or 6 young boys that took the stage, man, telling their testimonies and just talking about how Cut Different has helped them. It's one of the biggest nights for us, and it was successful. So everybody that played a role, I want to shout out everybody right now. We had Miss Torquilla with the food, Keytour Food and Catering. We had Miss Missy with the, she did our sewing and all the stuff for our boys in their suits. Who else we had? We had Sean T with the music. We appreciate him and the band for being there. Who else we had?
Chanel Gibson.
What was the name of her business?
Decor.
We forgot your name, but Chanel Gibson, she helped.
Check out on Facebook.
Yeah, check out on Facebook. But anybody else, and all the volunteers, Girls on the Rise, we thank Girls on the Rise for being there, helping us out, volunteers and the volunteers at the door. So again, thank you to everybody that played a role into making that event successful. We cannot do it without you. And I want to put this on your calendar, July 24th, 2026, right? July 24th, 2026. Y'all gonna get tired of hearing me say this, because one thing that happens, everybody hits you up. Well, why didn't I know about it? Why didn't I hear about it? Well, you don't got that excuse no more. July 24th, 2026, the Cut Different Summer 2026 Gala. All right, make sure you put it on your calendar. Make sure you be there, all right? So that's that. So again, I think we out of summer. Y'all might not hear us talk about summer for a little bit. We got to move on. We on to the next season. But Cut Different Academy. What's up, EL2A family, man? Come invest in the futures that are going to change the world. What you see here right now, man, we are reimagining education, right? We are giving these young boys and showing them who they are and where they're going. We're creating a school-to-career pipeline, and it's happening right here on this property, man. So let's go, EL2A fam. We're going to have a QR code that pops up. You scan that code, all right? And it's going to take you and tell you everything you need to know to come help us invest in the futures that's going to change the world. Let's go. Yeah. 2027 coming soon. We're gonna really start pressing the gas to make sure that we're doing what needs to be done to make sure that our school can open in 2027, so we can continue to guide young men to own their greatness at a larger scale. All right. But other than that, how you feeling, Rocket? Man, it's been a whole summer. Just tell the people how you feeling. We had a whole summer, right? Tell me one of your I guess your biggest takeaways and just how you feeling come out of summer and transitioning into the fall.
You say takeaways. Well, you go back and look at some of the some of our videos from the gala. We had my son, 8 years old. He got on stage and spoke in front of almost 200 people. So that was a big takeaway. I know we talked about it yesterday in the meeting, but just being able to see what can be done with consistency. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. I mean, some of the things that we taught the boys, or what these young men learn around us in an environment that's willing to teach them something new. You could get greatness out of it. I mean, you just got to continue to pour into them. So I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. I think I said it before. I know I was on a call with a friend of mine. I was letting them know, like, you get some of these young men in school, and if they're not doing good, if they're not efficient in math or reading, then the system says that they're not going to amount to anything. And I'm gonna throw the quotations. I mean, that's what society says. You're not going to amount to anything. But then you put a young man in an environment that can't read, or may not be able to read fluently, or may not be the best mathematician, but you put them on stage, or you give them certain skill sets, you teach them how to do something. That's going to be one heck of a young man when he get older, especially learning it at a young age. So my biggest takeaway is just being able to pour into these young men consistently. And I think that's one of the biggest things. We have a society or a community that pick and chooses when they want to pour into the boys, and they can feel that. And if they can feel that, then they don't want to be a part. But when they feel the love and the encouragement, I think that's when you get the best results.
Yeah, definitely. One thing, even piggybacking on what you said, one thing we figured out over the 8 weeks, these boys build up fire. You know what I mean? We have a lot of young men right now, wherever they are, they're burning. They have something inside of them. Some of them are craving more. I wish this could have been 9 weeks. I wish this could have been 10 weeks. But we do know next week school starts. So that fire that they build up in them, they're going to go into an environment, go into a school setting that basically, makes that fire die down because of like you just said, that environment doesn't curate what we curate here. We come into this space and we're really bringing the best out of a person. We give structure, discipline, and accountability. Like we giving them them lines, like you can't cross these lines or this happens, and they used to being held accountable, and then they get into a system that doesn't do that. It's like they see everybody getting away with the same stuff that they wouldn't get away with here. They see people doing stuff that wouldn't be able to happen here, and then they fall back into those creases because that's what their environment is showing them. Even if hard as they try, it happens every year. They're being good, then over time it just dies out because again they're going away from the fire. So it's like a fire extinguisher. It's taking out what we built up, and that's where Cut Different Academy comes in. We want to be able to take what we do in that 8-week period and extend it for a school year to keep that fire burning. Even now, we're actively trying to figure out systems to be able to figure out how do we keep that fire going. And even as we talk about systems, I know one of the biggest takeaways from our summer program, even as an organization, and this is where I really want to help the viewers that's watching. This could be for somebody that's an entrepreneur. This could be just for somebody, just a person that has a 9-to-5. Any person that's trying to be better at doing something, it takes systems. We've been accustomed to setting goals. People set goals all the time. I want to lose weight, right? Okay, that's a goal. Okay, how are you going to lose the weight? The how-to is the system. And that's the hard people creating that system to get them to whatever goal that they set. The system is the vehicle. What I want to do right now, I want to have a real conversation on us as a business, because if people view us, we run a business, and people see us and they see the good things. They see all the social media stuff, but there's still things behind the scenes that we are trying to put together to make us better. And I want to open this up and have a transparent conversation for people to be able to see even where we are today, we're still trying to put those systems in place to go to the next level. Because every level is going to take new systems and new attention to details to make it better. Yes, we do have we couldn't be able to get here if we didn't have systems. A system that we have in place is for us to be here every Tuesday at 3:00 to record this. That's why our next episode is going to be our 100th episode. 100. I don't even know the data. If we can look up the data on people that gets to this level when it comes to podcasting, now they don't make it past like 1 or 2 episodes because they don't have the systems in place. We created a system, and the reward or the goal, we get to 100 episodes. And now our views, we go back and look at the views, our views are going up and all those different things. That's because of systems. So to start the conversation off, I want to be able to just have a ground-based conversation. You could take this from your life. Eddie as the dad, Eddie as the entrepreneur, Eddie as the real estate agent. what are systems to you, and how have systems allowed you to go from point A to point B?
Yeah. Um, man, systems is it's important. I think that yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Systems are important. So you say what are systems to me? It's it's important. Reason being because when you have those systems, you're able, like you say, it creates those guidelines. So for so long we played ball from what 7 years old up until 23. And believe it or not, it's a system. You know, there's offense and defense. There's 11 players on the field. There's a whistle. There's certain ways you got to hold your hands. You can't hold. You can't. It's just certain. There's certain. They created a system to let the game run fluently. And I think for us, we've done it for so long that sometimes it becomes natural. And as I got older, when I finished college ball, one of the things that I realized was when I started working at Cone Distributing, they also had systems, and it made it feel like I was almost at home because I was following the guidelines of what the systems of what Cone Distributing had given or had already laid out for the the oncoming employees. So it's easy when you're a part of an organization that already has those systems put in place, because now you can come in and you just have to walk the lines of what they have already implemented. But with those systems also comes accountability, and I think that's where things change at. It could change if you don't have a system, if you don't have a proper system in place with accountability. That's where things go to, things start changing up, and that's where the problems can set in, or we say the challenges, areas of opportunity. Even for me, like in my life, I mean, I worked for Cone Distributing for 7 years. That was the system there, and it was accountability piece. If I didn't show up to work on time, then now I'm getting written up, or whatever. Now I'm sitting in front of the VP, I'm sitting in front of my supervisor, whatever the case may be. That's the accountability piece to help make sure that I show up to work on time. They even had a system down to when we went into the stores, delivering the beverages in the stores, that we had to rotate. And it just got to the point of, all right, so there's a system that they have because they want to make sure that the oldest product goes out first. To some, you're like, okay, so what does that mean, and why is that so important? If I bring it in this cooler, I can just take what comes in and I can sell that first. But it's a system to it because of the dates. As the dates came in, the newer dates, or that had more life, needed to be on the bottom, and the ones that had shorter life needed to sell first. So I know somebody may be saying like, well, why is that so important? Well, because the dates the ones that had less life, when it hit that time when it expired, you can't sell that beer anymore, or you can't sell those drinks anymore, because now you got to take it off the shelf. So now you're losing money because you didn't use the system that the company put in place in order to sell the oldest product first, and the one with more life, and put that at the bottom. So now life is lifing, and when you don't have a system to govern you when to wake up on time, or you don't have a system to hold you accountable for the things you do and don't do, whether you working for yourself or working for a company, that's when things start going wrong. Now you're showing up to work you're showing up to work late. Now you're not delivering the service that you should be delivering for the job. Now people are looking at you crazy. Now they don't think that you're accountable, and now they don't think that you're capable of doing that job. And yeah, man, systems are important. I just think, I mean, I go like, even at home with the kids, there has to be a system. We had to be in bed, I think 8, 9 years old. So right now, so my son, he's 8 years old, and he's already saying, Dad, I can go to sleep at 10 o'clock. No, you can't. And that will not work, because within the system, all right, you have to go to school in the morning. If I allow you to go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night, you're going to be very tired in the morning when you have to get up at 5:30. So with the system that we put in place is you're going to go to bed at 9 or 9:30, give you enough time to sleep. That way, when you get up in the morning, you're ready to go for school, and it works perfect. Now, in a perfect world, we want them to go to sleep at 8:30. and you can see his body well rested. But that's a system that I'm following from when we were raised, trying to figure out, Mom, why are you making us go to bed so early? But she knew, or our parents knew, that was going to be beneficial for us to get the best out of school, that next day. So that's why I say, you say, what are systems? Systems are important.
Yeah, and definitely important. But so going back to the situation at Cone, so obviously Cone is a big time company, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the comparison to Cone, and cut different. Coming out of Cone and coming to cut different, and as we're establishing systems, obviously we have systems, some that are in place, and we need more because we're continuously growing. We're on an upward trend. During this time of that transition, what are some things that you learned at Cone that could be helpful to us? And I say that to say, because that transition of what you're saying, that you could see like we did there, that we should start doing here. And also something somebody else watching this can be able to say, this is something I can adapt as well.
So Cohen, it was just big on being accountable. I mean, that's something that, again, if you were late at Cone, you're going to get, I think, it wasn't a point system. It's funny. I had a conversation with one of my boys this morning. We were talking about, he was saying, the job that he's currently working is, he like it because he can do what he want. He don't like it because he know it's not giving him the return that he needs to take care of his family. And I know we're talking about Cone, but just because we had this conversation this morning, it was crazy. I was like, bro, that it's crazy that we're having this conversation, at that point in time, because he was saying that, he said if he used to work at Cardinal, and at Cardinal they had a system, and that was the point system there, and he couldn't be late because if he was late, so if he had received so many points, then he's going to get fired. So now you're flirting on that, do I do it, or should I do it, or should I not do it? Now you got to hold yourself accountable. And I think within our organization, we didn't have anything put in place for somebody that didn't show up on time. We didn't have anything put in place for somebody to, I mean, really that's the big thing, not to deliver what they said or not to deliver on their job the way that they're supposed to. We're giving them, there's a responsibility, they have a task to do, and if it's not been done, then you have to be held accountable. At Cone Distributing, if you go into that store and you just drop the beer or you drop the drinks, and then your supervisors come behind you and see that you just dropped and you didn't rotate it, now you getting deducted. They had surveys and a point system. It's funny. I just had a conversation with Courtney Green. I just literally just told him this like 2 or 3 days ago. I say, bro, I still remember when you came behind me and you docked me and gave me a 60. All my scores before that was like 90s and better, but he came behind me one day. I was pissed off. Even though they had the system, I just delivered. I just dropped the drinks on the floor because I was like, why would you put the store back on my route on this day when this was an off day delivery? So I just dropped it on the floor. He come behind me. That system that they put in place, he had to follow that rubric, and now he docked the points on me. So now this is the first time I got a D, for my grade on the grading scale that we had for the drivers. But that was something to hold me accountable by. I didn't like when you're on the board and everybody's seeing, you seeing 98s from everybody else, and then I'm at the bottom with a 60. Me personally, that made me feel some type of way. So even if I, had another off day delivery, I made sure that, because I didn't know Courtney was gonna come behind me again. Yeah. That was a system that they had put in place that, that helped hold me accountable. I was held accountable, and it held the entire team. And I think that's something that, we have to do. That's something that has to be done to hold, everybody accountable, because people are going to give their best. They're gonna do what's right when they know that somebody can, come behind them and deem them on what they're doing wrong.
Yeah. So what you're just saying, everything you're just saying, so it goes, excuse me, and got out. What you're saying, everything that goes to, so systems are emotional. You get what I'm saying? Systems are emotional. People are emotional, but systems aren't. Yeah. When you have systems in play, it wasn't Courtney making the decision. It was the system that made the decision. So when he came behind you, you being emotional, you mad at the person. It ain't the person, it's the system. The system's what holds you accountable. That's important, the system. Going back to even the kids. Same thing with me, Shauna and Kaden. I used to always tell her she can't put Kaden in the bed at a certain time because the emotional part of him wanting to stay up, she don't want to like hurt his feelings. I always told her, don't make yourself the bad guy, make the alarm clock the bad guy. Put the alarm clock in the room when the alarm clock rings. Get mad at him.
Mhm.
I don't control time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get mad at the Lord. That's what a system does. A system puts things in place where it takes the emotional side out of it, and you can really make a real decision without having to deal with the emotions that humans have.
Yeah.
Most humans deal out of emotions. Everything we want to do, I feel. This makes me feel this way. In order for you to be successful, you have to take the feelings out of it.
Yeah.
It does. Your feeling, the way you feel, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Is it helping us or is it hurting us?
Yeah.
And that's what a system does. The system creates thin things that you do every day that helps you, and you don't unconsciously. You just do it. And by the time you look up, it's compound interest. You do this. You put the system. You just do it.
Yeah.
And by the time you look up, the system's in place because at the time, everything you set out to do is going to help you get there.
Yeah. Even back to that conversation with Courtney, when I was talking to him, I'm like, at first, I had to jog his memories. Like, we talking about what a place was at in Gainesville, and then he finally said it. He was like, well, I actually had to come. He said, I actually was supposed to be grading somebody else that wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So the other person wasn't following the system, but because I had that emotional moment in that specific time, I let my emotions get the best of me, and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. But with the other person, a part of the job that hadn't been doing what he's supposed to be doing, led Courtney to come up there in Gainesville to begin with, and he happened to come behind me because the other guy was taking so long. So I know it's like, okay, so what are you saying? Because a lot of times, the people that's listening, we have our friends. We have, whether it's somebody in our relationship, you're in a relationship with somebody, or one of your best friends. Okay, so you have a system that you operate by. You go to the gym so many times, or you spend time with your family so many times. You put these systems in place so that your family, your household run smoothly. But then now you talking to one of your boys or one of your homegirls, and then they like, girl, why you doing all that, bro? You need to come hang out with us instead of going, spending time with your family. All right, your system, you don't allow somebody that's not in your organization or somebody that's not in your household, you allow them to disrupt the system that you have, and now you dealing with issues at home. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is not to allow other people within the organization that may have a bad connotation or a bad feeling or bad thought about what's going on within your organization or your household. You don't allow somebody else to throw you off your systems, because at that point, that's now they losing and now you losing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think people got to be more aware of the things that they doing. Hold yourself accountable. At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. Being able to hold, like, I think I feel more. I think I feel more. I feel better about myself. At that point, again, I had that D when, he came down and I was graded that D. I felt better about myself seeing, that I did the job that I was supposed to do. I didn't need the system to tell me this is what I need to do. That's just how I operated. So now when I see my name on the board, I feel good about myself. The people that are connected to me, they're going to feel good about the performance that I did, but it was a system that I built up within myself, the accountability that I built up within myself to govern myself, the right way in that moment.
Yeah. So, and I want to slow it down. So for the viewers, I want to slow it down for you. So the conversation that we're having is very simple, but it's very deep. We're saying it's something simple as far as setting a system for your life to help you go forward. For example, a lot of people set goals at the end of in the beginning of the year. We set these New Year resolutions, which are usually goals. I want to lose weight. I want to do X, Y, Z. For example, I want to travel to Spain. That's a goal that I want. How do I get there? You need a passport. You need all the different things, the plane ticket. You need those. The system is getting all those things in order to be able to get to the goal, which is going to Spain. And so many of us leave off on our goals. Like we said, we're good at setting goals. Yeah, what we want. Because that's a feeling thing. A goal is a feeling. Like, I feel bad. I want to lose weight. You know what I mean? I feel whatever. That's where your goal comes from a feeling. But when you actually set that system in, that's the vehicle. That's me getting in the car, putting the gas in, and actually going to drive there. And I think that's where a lot of people miss out. For example, like you said, at Cone Distributing, the system that they have in place. Even here at Cut Different Today, we literally just went through a full summer program. We put together this new thing. It was a junior mentor program we put to. Great idea, because one of our goals is to create a school to career pipeline, right? So we want to be able to put our high school student in leadership positions to where they can be able to get more experience. They can feel leadership. So by the time they graduate high school, they feel empowered to attack the world. We put it in play, but there was no real system behind it. We just said, do it. Let's do it. And we did it right in the summer program. We started. Good idea. And it's in an environment of excellence. So it's going to be able to be curated to make it go along, just because the environment of Cut Different is just a positive environment that curates excellence. But within it, in that environment of excellence, there was this one thing that kept coming up, a conversation that kept coming back, a thing that kept having to be itched. So that's where the system was. As this, everything over here is going this way, this one thing we got to keep talking about. We got to keep sitting at a table having a conversation about, because there's no system about it. And that's where me and all of us, a team, we sat down and we kept having conversation, but we understood. We had a goal. We sat there. The goal was excellent. It was a cute, nice goal. And it made sense for us to do, but we put no system in, and it showed. It showed. And I'm telling you this live in person, it showed. Even though we were able to make it through, we got to July 25th, and if we wouldn't have sat here and told you this, nobody would have known that. But it showed, and I'm saying this to you because you need a system. Especially if you may not even have the environment like we have to be able to hold that thing that's keep poking up in place and things get ugly. So having we able to have the structure that it didn't get ugly, but it could have. It was put into a position where that could have been something bad for us. But without a system, you can't win. And I think for you that don't understand, a system is literally you sitting down and saying, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what are you doing? Again, if you're meal prepping, if I want to lose weight, I'm meal prepping. I'm working out Monday, Tuesday, I'm stretching. Like, you literally have to have a plan, because one thing that a system does, the system takes your stress away. You have to think about it. You just wake up. A system is stress-free because you wake up every day in your system and you just create steps. It's steps, that's steps, that's steps. You don't have to think about it. Most people wake up with the anxiety of, what do I do? Oh, I'm supposed to promote my business. I don't know how to promote it. I don't know what to put out. Oh, I'm supposed to go here and meet with this person. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. If you have the system, it's stress-free. On Monday, I wake up, I check my emails before I do anything. On Tuesday, when I come into, I read a book and I do everything. It's stress-free. That's number one. All right. So write that down. A system is stress-free. It helps me out. It takes the thinking out, the thinking curve out, but I just make things do. Number two, systems build habits. Habits are one of the best things you can do. For me, I say daily deposits. If you create a system, it's going to help you with a daily habit that you do. Anything you do, and it can be small. For example, one little small thing. If, for example, we used to, in high school, we had a coach that say do 100 push-ups every night. Right? That made us stronger when we was blocking. That made us stronger with our step on, let's make all that. But 100 push-ups every night. He'd say something simple. He'd say, when the commercial come on, just do 25 push-ups. You watch TV, do another 25. That was something we were able to build. Before you know it, you're doing 50 at a time. You're doing all that. And before you know, you can knock most of the 100 out before you even did it. But that was a system that we did from doing it every day. For you, that's something. You can be one push-up. Start off with one. That one turns into 2. It turns into 3. But again, you're going to start building a habit of doing the push-up. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build healthy habits to help us reach the goal. And I think most of us have to lock in on that. So it's not so much about your goal. It's about the systems that you build to help you get to the goal. I hope that makes sense. You feel what I'm saying, Mr. Roger?
Sure. And then, I mean, even with that, so because you got some with the systems that are in the, so going back to the dream mentor aspect, when we put an idea out there, we put, something that we wanted to do. Well, within that system, everybody got to be on the same page. So that goes to communication, because of the communication out there, if the synergy isn't there amongst everybody that's on that team, then that's when you have what we say, you're as strong as your weakest link. The ideas within your home, your team or whatever, everybody has to be on the same page. The communication has to be there. So I go back to Cone Distributing. One thing that they, the other drivers, when I first got there, I didn't know anything about the grades as far as like how they came behind you. But you had other drivers like, hey, you have to rotate the beer. One of my boys that I grew up with that helped get me the job, that was his thing. So what that system, when I found out, okay, they do come behind me and grade me, in my mind initially, because I'm hearing from other people like, man, you ain't gotta rotate that stuff, man. They ain't gonna come behind you and grade you. But then my boy that helped me get the job, he was like, bro, the best thing that you can do, go ahead and rotate that now, because they do come behind you and grade you. So if you build up that system of rotating every time you go in there, it becomes simple. So now that I'm on the same page with him, he and I, we both getting, hundreds, and, we're the top of the board, but it was the communication amongst the team. Like, so for me and him, we homeboys, so we want to see each other win. So I'm going to put him in position to win. He going to put me in a position to win, but it's the communication amongst the drivers that helped everybody out. Now, again, you're going to have your naysayers. You're going to have the ones that want to go against the grain. That system can remove them. And that's what that's what we have to have. We have to have that system remove those that don't want to follow the system that's in place, because at the end of the day, you're only strong as your weakest link, or the weakest member of your team. And I think communication goes back into whether it's cut different, whether it's home distributing, whether it's in your personal home between, you know, the husband and wife, all that's a system that's built, but everybody got to be on the same page.
Yeah, so that's communication. That's a whole nother can of worms. When you talk about communication, and so and this came back, so I got to jump back on the system thing. Even the personal thing, for myself. One thing I've learned about, and I just had this happen to me today, actually, before I got here, was the meeting, and people look at me and they say, "Oh man, you look now you're losing weight." That's not a goal of mine, really, to lose weight. But in my system, I run 5 miles Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. With doing that, things are happening to my body that I can't even see. You get what I'm saying? I see it when other people say it to me. "Oh, you look smaller," and it's not nothing that I'm consciously doing. These things are just happening to me. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I wake up and do 5 miles. I go get in the sauna every day in the cold tub. I can't tell you one benefit of the sauna. I don't know. I know you sweat, and I know sweating is good for you, but I can't tell you no benefit past that. That's not, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy that Googles everything. And, oh, when I take this, I take fish oil every day. And I don't even know what that do. Like, I can't tell you, I just know it's good for you. And I do things that's good for my body. But there's some people out there that they or rather research all this stuff about what to do, how I do it, and still don't put the action in. I'm a guy to just do it. I know if I run Monday, Wednesday, I be in the gym Monday through Friday. I get in the sun, I get in the cold tub. Good things are going to happen to my body. I focus. That's my system. So I just get in there and I do it. And I think we just got to cut out the noise, man. All that clouding your brain with stuff that really don't matter. Find you a system, bro. Find you something that you do Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday that works, that helps you get to whatever goal that you're trying to get to. You don't have to be the one that's obsessed with the research and, oh, when I take this and supplement and I do this and I read this many books and I wake up in the morning, and don't cut all that. Just do it. You know what works. You know if you get up and work out, you're going to be healthier. You know if you eat better, you're going to be healthier. You know if you read books, you're going to be smarter. You know what I mean? There's simple things out there that we know that we just got to do. So we got to cut the noise. And I want this podcast to be something like one of those things, like I already know this, but this aha moment that makes you leave this podcast, right, and go create a system that's going to make you flawless. Because if you do this system, for a time, like I just said, you create those habits, man, in the bad times. One thing about goals need motivation. You have to be motivated to reach a goal. You don't have to be motivated in the system. You just do it. You know what I mean? You don't take motivation for you. Just wake up and do it. A goal, you got to wake up and be motivated to go reach a goal. The system just happens. It happens unconscious because it's a built-in habit. So that's the systems. But to the communication part that you said, communication is also important. Obviously, when you work in the teams, that's one thing, even with us, that we're still working hand in hand with your brother. That's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes we have to communicate. Sometimes there are expectations that you may be set out because you have a relationship outside of the professional relationship. So the expectation of thought process, how you look at things. So now you have to over communicate things. Communication is important, and we just got to be, in order to make anything that's big go, you got to overly do it. And I think that's what we're doing here. So really want to have a conversation on systems. I was about to go into, but I don't even think we should like overdo it, because I want the people to really just sit in on that. I want to stay with systems. We were going to talk about, we ain't got to talk about the community. I just want them to focus on the systems, because my goal is for everybody to leave here. If you watch this podcast, I always say this, if you watch this podcast, it's because you're in that spot of your life that you know that you should be doing more, you can be doing more, or you're about to do more. Again, when you tap into this, you come to get some information that you know is going to empower you, to push you to go forward. Because you could be watching house husbands and housewives and all this other stuff that adds no value to you, but you came to spend your time here. So I want to give you this system. We're going to stop right here, and I just want you to focus on create systems for your life, for your family, for your business, for your work, whatever you do. You have to have a system. If I can come have this conversation with you and you can't tell me what your system is, like if I said, what's your system for your family? You should be able to say, me and my family, we are XYZ because we're trying to do this, and this is how we do it. for your business. For my business, I'm trying to get here by year end, and this is the system I'm doing for my business. If you don't have those in place, please take those time and reach out. I'm gonna even throw this alley hoop. Reach out to us, because I would love to help anybody who is trying to sit down and create a system for themselves to be better. One thing that we came accustomed with is consistency. Consistency helps a lot. All right, even through the not knowing, we came into this space. I didn't know anything about a nonprofit. Didn't know anything about business, for real. Well, I did go to business school. I did know a little bit about business, but I never did it. It's one thing to go learn, Sam. It's another to put it in action. So when we start putting in other things I learned, but the consistency of waking up every day and doing it, we start creating systems. We have systems now. We meet a certain day a week. Me and you have personal meetings certain days. Have meetings with our board certain times a week. We meet with the boys on certain days. We meet with during, you know what I mean? We have systems, but we're at that point of our business where we're going to a whole other level. We know it. Everybody that knows us knows it. So we need more systems in place to make sure that our business keeps going. So system, hey, the word of the day, systems. All right. So I don't know if you got anything else on systems before we spin it off. What else you want to touch on before we spin it off?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So systems, man. So stop what you're doing. Like, subscribe, comment. Put systems in the comment. All right, everybody comment systems right now so we understand what this conversation was about. I hope this conversation empowered you. Obviously, the banquet is over, so I don't have to say July 25th anymore, but July 26th, we need to get us a hobby writers, get us a flyer built for next year. So July 24th, 2026, our summer gala. We do need to start. We got Give for Marion coming up. We got our community fun day the first week of the first December, Saturday. In December, I think it's December the 6th. Yep, December the 6th. So make sure that we got some cool events coming up, man. It's a great time of the year. Obviously, we know fall football season, like I started with, football season is upon us. But that also leads into our holiday months, man. It's gonna be summertime before we know it again. But I greatly appreciate it. Everybody wants to say. And another thing, speaking of systems, we've created a system here on the EL2A podcast. If you're watching this is our 99th episode. Think about that. That means for a full year, almost 2 years, every week we put out a podcast episode, man. So round of applause for us, man. EL2A pod. We're gonna clap it up for ourselves. We're gonna celebrate ourselves, because that means a lot. That means literally for 2 years we've been in the studio every day, every week, putting up episodes, and with the goal of giving information to you. We've created a system to give information to you all that's watching this, our EL2A family, because we understand, man, we've been able to do some things in our life, but what's important for us to hoard information. We want to give the information to you. That's why we bring in guests. We had the mayors, we had city council people, we had business people, we had entrepreneurs, we had educators, we had so many different people on this platform just to be able to give you all the information that you need. So I hope you guys truly appreciate it. So definitely make sure you put systems in the episode. The 100th episode gonna be after this, and we're gonna do something special for our 100th episode. And yeah, man, I think that's it. Like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Other than that, man, we'll see y'all next time.